think we're going to go ahead and get started. Happy Friday, everyone. Thank you for coming and joining us. We have Dr. Sheetal Singh joining us today to help facilitate our mindfulness webinar. She is an organizational psychologist, mindfulness coach, and a professor. Her passion is to support individual and organizational performance and employee wellness. So take it away, Sheetal.
All right, thank you so much, Natalie. Thank you so much for being here on this Friday afternoon. It's a great day outside, I know. So the fact that you're indoors and joining me here today is really nice. So just to give you a little bit about myself, I'm an organizational psychologist. I teach at a university, but mindfulness is a passion of mine. And since I do a lot of research in emotional exhaustion and burnout, this has been kind of part of my personal journey. So I'm going to share some tidbits from things I've learned from research and things I've learned from on my own to help me through this process, and especially during the current times because of all that's happening and so much uncertainty in the air. So I thought I'll share some of what I have at least learned in the last few weeks, and I'm sure each one of you have as well. All right. I hope the technology works the way it's meant to. All right, so one of the things, a lot of people wonder about is, why mindfulness and why is it even relevant? I think most of us end up spending a ton of our time, and most of our time, in fact, either thinking about what we've done in the past, regrets, things we could have done better, things we could have done differently. Or we are a lot of times worrying about the future in terms of what's going to happen. Am I going to be able to achieve these goals? Am I going to be able to take that vacation? Will I be able to see my family this summer and things like that? So, which basically leaves very little time for us to be actually in the present moment, right here, right now. And which is what mindfulness to me is. Mindfulness is really just being aware of the present moment without any judgment. And again, suspending judgment is a big part of it, is what I say. So interestingly, I've had a few interesting experiences of my own with regards to mindfulness. So I'm gonna quickly ask you guys a question. So I'm gonna keep running these polls in the middle. If you're okay with that, that'll keep our interaction going. And that way I know you guys are here and I can understand your situation as well. So here is a quick poll for those of you who are here. How many of you noticed the word hat? Okay, we have about 65% votes in. And if you know coming in, anybody else wants to take that last minute vote? Okay, I'm going to share the results with you. About 75% of the people noticed this hat that I'm wearing, this Dr. Sweet's hat, and about 25% of you said no. I'm curious about that, but there's a very interesting story that I want to share here. This was a couple of years back. I was working with my daughter's class as a coach for Odyssey of the Mind, and I was judging this tournament as well. So one of the things we were asked as judges to do was wear a weird hat and show up to judge, because the kids were being very creative. We were asked to be creative with that. So I walked in wearing this hat in the morning. I spent about, the entire day pretty much judging, and we were a group of about 8 individuals who were working together to do this. And right at about 4:30 in the evening, when we were really tired, everybody was probably had very low caffeine in their system than they needed to have. And this gentleman who's been sitting right next to me throughout the day suddenly says, "Oh, where did you get this hat from? I didn't see you wear it earlier." And the question really amused me and confused me for a bit. But the most confusing part for me was, and I was like, "You did not notice it at all? I've been wearing it all day." And he's like, surprising, but no, it feels like I'm seeing it for the first time. And that's when I realized how absent-minded we can be. We can actually have somebody sit right in front of us wearing such a weird hat and not even notice it. And those of you who said no, maybe you didn't notice it, maybe you thought it was a trick question. It wasn't really. But that's exactly what I'm talking about in terms of mindfulness, in terms of being aware of the present moment. And a lot of times we attend these Zoom meetings back to back, and we are a lot of times not exactly where we should be or we want to be, or sometimes when we're with our kids, again, uh, our thoughts are wandering, and that's what mindfulness could help you with, just bring you back to the present moment. So it's, in a way, I've developed techniques, methods, meditations that help you bring you back to the present moment, um, um, whenever you need to. And sometimes it's okay to wander as well, is how I look at it. So I'm gonna ask you guys to do another experiment. Okay. I know some of you got tricked by the hat question. I'm gonna take it off now. So nobody's tricking anyone. So for the next few moments, I'm gonna give you small activities to do. Okay. I'm gonna ask you to do something, and I just need you to follow my instructions. Very simple instructions, really. So for the next few minutes, not minutes, actually 10 seconds, whatever you do, don't think about a pink elephant. So no matter what you do, don't think about a pink elephant. Okay, okay. I think our time is almost up. So let's. So here is a quick question to all of you. How many of you saw the pink elephant? The same pink elephant I told you not to think about. Oh, wow, we do have some people who have a lot of mind control of that. Oh, guys, let's get 100% response this time. How many of you honestly saw the pink elephant? Okay, I'm going to share the results here. So about 50% of you, 57% of you saw the pink elephant. And about 43%, not bad, did not see the pink elephant. I'm sure it took a lot of effort, though, for those of you who weren't able to see. So thank you for doing that to me. I'm going to ask you to do one more quick thing, all right? So earlier we were working on the pink elephant. Now I have another exercise for you. For the next 10 seconds, no matter what you do not think of a purple monkey, okay? No purple monkeys. I doubt you've ever seen a purple monkey. You might have seen a brown or a beige or white, but I doubt you've ever seen a purple monkey. So don't think about a purple monkey. All right. Your time is up. Um, so you don't have to strain your mind anymore. Those of you who were trying really hard. So quick question to you. How many of you saw the purple monkey? Pretty good. You guys are fast learners. All right. We have about 85% votes in. Come on, the last five, guys. Anybody? All right. Here we go. So this time we had a little more, a few more people who were able to resist, and about 60% of you were unable to see the purple monkey. And about 40% of you still couldn't resist but see the purple monkey. Okay. So just so you know, if you were to make me do this, I would have seen the pink elephant and the purple monkey. I'm very visual and I instantly think of whatever you're telling me not to think about. So why did I ask you to do this? Um, the idea that I want to bring to you, and I'm going to bring together a few different ideas that will hopefully help you in building some healthy emotional and mental habits. And the idea is whatever you're going to resist is going to persist. I know a bunch of you were able to resist seeing this purple monkey and resist seeing this pink elephant. Yet, it took a lot of mental strain. And the moment you would let go, you would see it. And that's pretty much how life really is as well. So, a lot of times people think, if I'm talking about mindfulness, or I'm talking about meditation, that it's really about control. It's about mind control. It's about resisting. It's really not about resisting. And I wanted to throw that idea out in the beginning. It's not about resisting. It's about really just letting go and being. So just being where you are in the moment, staying aware without judgment, and not stressing about it, and no mind control. And that's why I see the purple monkeys and the pink elephants. I just go with the flow pretty much, you can say. So as we continue to deal with our current situation, I started observing how all of us were going through a lot of different stages. We all started at a phase when things were still in China and located there, and we were still in denial that this is ever going to happen here, it's ever going to come here, and so I'm talking about literally just the last month and a half. And we all started with this big denial of it's never going to come here, it's never going to happen to us, we are fine. And so many last few years we've had illnesses like that, but we've never been affected that dramatically. So the denial was fairly natural. Um, what followed right after was anxiety, because when things started hitting home a little bit, we started now fearing, oh, this seems to be coming here, what does that mean? And there was just so much uncertainty, and we started experiencing a lot of anxiety, some more than others. And so and once the anxiety sets in, there's this sense of lack of control where you feel you're completely helpless, you're unable to control anything, you're unable to control the economy, you're unable to control the disease, you don't know how your body is going to respond to it, and all of that. So there's this sense of lack of control that set in right after that. And eventually, after a few weeks of going through that lack of control and anxiety, I think some of us were able to move through those stages and get to the stage of acceptance, and being, it's not like we can do much anyway, so just accept the situation and deal with whatever is coming to us and make the best of the moment. And everybody has a glass of wine every evening, and we sit in our PJs and do the Zoom calls. So make the best of the situation, right? And that's where the acceptance set in. Well, while the acceptance set in, at the same time, the acceptance also made us realize how stationary we were. And a lot of times, being stationary um, gives us a sense of lack of growth. So we were either experiencing this, the acceptance led to either a sense of growth where, oh, I'm able to, still move forward because I've accepted the situation, or I've accepted the situation, but I'm still so stationary and I'm not able to do a lot of things that I want to do. So there's this lack of growth that we feel. And then finally, in the last 2 weeks or so, I've started experiencing this sense of renewal where people are able to focus more on themselves and realizing that this is a time for renewal. And so people are able to focus more on family, people focus more on their health, um, either working out or eating healthy and breathing the fresh air and going out for walks and all of that. So I've been watching these different stages, and so I built today's webinar a little bit around it, because I feel not all of us have moved through all the stages, and some of us might keep going back to some of these stages. So how do we deal with these stages, and how do we deal with some of this anxiety, some of this lack of control and lack of growth which we are experiencing at the same time? So before we move forward, I want to again get a quick sense of where the group is at, and at least what everybody has levels, what is your level of experience and in the last few weeks. So share that with me. Which of these stages have you experienced? Have you experienced denial, anxiety, lack of control, acceptance, growth, lack of growth, renewal, any of this? Share with me. So I'm putting out another poll. It'd be great if you guys can participate.
And just a reminder for everyone, if you could make sure that you're muted. Thank you.
Again, I really appreciate the participation. It's nice that you guys are participating, because that's what makes the information more relevant, and I'm able to share things that are going to be more relevant to you as well. So thank you. Okay, I'm waiting for a couple of more votes to come in. Almost there. Awesome. All right. Um, okay. Let's see the results. Uh, So about 62% of us did experience anxiety. Most of you experienced some part of those stages that I just laid out here for everyone. And very few of you experienced denial. I experienced big chunk of denial for a very long time. I did experience extreme anxiety for a while. Got sick in the middle. The anxiety kind of worsened. Oh, I had corona. No, I didn't. But the anxiety kicked in. Um, yeah, about 48% of you felt that lack of control and might still be feeling it. And about 62% have now developed acceptance for the situation, which is awesome. And a lot of you are experiencing growth, some of you are still experiencing lack of growth, and some of you are experiencing that renewal that I was talking about. So thank you for sharing that. This has been helpful, good to know, and because some of the these stages that I'm talking about really is based on my experience of the groups that I work with in terms of doing a lot of mindfulness work. And so thank you. So, uh, those of you who do end up going towards denial or have experienced denial, um, know that this is something, whenever we are in denial, we try to distract ourselves, we try to move our mind off the situation. And that's really our stationary period. And that's really the period where we experience lack of growth, because we are resisting movement in that moment. So I'd encourage you to just sit, breathe, remind yourself all is fine, and move more towards acceptance if you can. But if you do experience denial, just become aware of it is all I would say. Sometimes you don't really have to do anything. Just to move forward, all you need to do is just become aware. Um, Anxiety. Anxiety is something, I think it comes and goes. I don't think it's something we lose very easily, at least for the time being. Till we have a permanent solution, we know what's happening, and the uncertainty goes down. But what I also realize that there's so many different things that we are fearing for in this moment, and just if I start looking at in terms of things that people are worrying about, there is financially, people are worrying about financial loss, fear of disease, fear of the unknown, fear of calamity, fear of losing loved ones, those of us who have family members who are either older or are vulnerable in any way. So just want to get a quick sense of what's your biggest fear in this moment. It'd be great if you can share that with me. It could be personal, but these results are anonymous, and so I'd appreciate to hear from you. What is your biggest fear right now? All right, I think most of our results are in. Anybody wants to make a last minute vote? Go ahead. All right. Um, so our biggest fear is fear of the unknown, and it is our biggest fear. I would agree because whatever we don't know about, we can't control, and whatever we can't control makes us feel so helpless. Um, Fear of financial loss, fear of disease is a big one. A lot of us are worrying about how is my body going to respond? Am I going to be immune? Am I going to have extreme symptoms? Am I going to have mild symptoms if I was to be exposed and all of that? And what would it mean? Um, Fear of calamity, um, what's happening around us is fairly tragic around the world for a lot of people, irrespective of what their age is. So a lot of families are going through loss um, and fear of losing loved ones. So thank you so much for sharing that. I know a lot of this is very personal to a lot of us, so I appreciate that you're all being actively engaged here and just sharing some of that personal information with me. Before we move forward, let's talk a little bit about fear. The way I define fear, fear is really our non-acceptance of a future outcome. I'm going to let it sit there for a second. So fear is our non-acceptance of a future outcome. And in a way, if you look at it, it's really just denial. Um, what we fear is something that we don't want to happen in the future. So, a couple of habits that could be really, really helpful would be if you could, I always say our imagination is way, way worse than reality. So, when we tend to focus too much in the future, we tend to imagine all the possibilities. And most of the times, these possibilities are really worst case scenarios that we're thinking about. So I'd encourage you to one, be in the moment so you don't think so much about what can go wrong in the future and reduce that fear. Two, if you can, um, and this is something I do, trust the universe a little bit. Um, the way I look at it is I remind myself that so far the universe has taken care of me. It has provided for me, it has kept me healthy, it's taken care of my family. And there's no reason for me to think that it's going to change in the future. So trust the universe if you can. Do not let your imagination run wild if you can. Again, our imagination is way worse than reality. So be in the moment if you can. Bring yourself back to the breath if you can. And all of these will help you with your fear. Um, Focus on things that give you joy. And some of the habits that help me is, what time you sleep, what time you wake up, what you're eating. All of that will add to how you're feeling inside of you. Um, to me, fresh air makes all the difference. So just sometimes going out for the walk without a phone or looking at the phone, staying away from technology for some periods of time during the day if you can manage that, especially outside of work. Um, get as much. If music is your thing, listen to that music. A lot of times we associate good feelings and emotions with certain sounds, certain sights, certain smells. So, for example, I know coffee makes me happy. It makes me be very loving towards myself and others. So, if that's the case with you, indulge. But build those habits of emotional well-being that keep you joyful, that keep you away from fear. All is well is what you need to remind yourself of. This is the current moment is all you have, and the current moment is all you can control right now. So just focus here. Um, Nothing bad is going to happen, and remind yourself of that if you can. Um, which brings me to the next stage, lack of control. So those of us who dealt with anxiety still were feeling that, okay, I'm not fearing anything, my anxiety has gone down, but I still feel as if I lack control. I'm unable to um, have a big say in a lot of things in my life. For God's sake, I can't even decide whether my kids should be homeschooled or not anymore. It's not a choice that I have. Well, um, The one thing I'd say about that lack of control is um, the only thing you can control is how you respond in this moment. The outcomes is something you can't control. So whenever you feel helpless or whenever you're feeling that sense of lack of control, I'd encourage you to bring yourself back to what is it that you can control. So you can control your actions, you can control your response, you can control your emotions, you can control how you feel about certain things. So I'd encourage you to focus your time and energy towards creating that sense of power and empowerment within, if you can, and share that with your children as well, because I'm sure they are feeling equally helpless. Their schedule is changed, they're unable to meet their friends, they're unable to learn things in the environment that they're used to learning. So um, make it a fun activity, make it something that is part of creativity for them as well. While each one of us kind of deals with that lack of control differently, we are also kind of dealing with different forms of lack of control. So um, I'm going to ask you another quick question. And again, you probably know this by now. I'm a very curious soul. So here is another set of questions for you. Which aspect of your life do you experience lack of control in right now the most? It could be professional, it could be relationships, it could be children, it could be related to self. Some of us are just not able to do things that we want to related to parents, it could be financial. So share with me if you can. Running another quick poll here. Um, which of these areas do you feel most helpless or you experience lack of control in? Very few of you responding to the children part. So I was wondering if most of you don't have children, or you guys have children that I need to learn more from. Right, we have about 63% votes in. Just waiting for a few more. All right, I'm going to end the poll if anybody wants to drop in the last minute votes. So, majority of us are feeling the sense of lack of control in relationships and self. Um, Professional is another big one. I agree. A lot of us have these professional goals. Some of them are either delayed or on hold. Parents is another area, and financial for a lot of us again. So I'm with you, guys. For a change, the entire world is almost going through the same thing, irrespective of which part of the globe um, you are in right now. We're all pretty much in the same boat. So uh, just going back to which when you feel helpless, a lot of times we have a tendency of one either trying to exert that control, or two trying to be judgmental about ourselves, or beating ourselves up about that lack of control, whether it's relationships or it's related to self. And I've put on a few pounds in the last few weeks, even though I've been working out regularly. I haven't just been as diligent. So there are days I remind myself, there are days I beat myself over it. But here's a quick story I'm going to share with you. And this is something I think our children teach us the most. Um, I learned this from my elder daughter. And this was when she was in kindergarten, which is now a few years back. Um, she would always get delayed in the morning getting ready to go to school, and we would always miss her bus. So that was a big frustration for me because it would delay me to work every morning. And one of these days, again, we missed the bus as usual, and she's sitting at the back, and I'm talking to her, dropping her to school. And my question to her was, so now why can't you get ready in time to catch the bus? And she's still in kindergarten, so she responds to me saying, Mom, I did my best. And like a typical parent, my immediate response was, I'm sure you can do better. I doubt that was your best. And she said to me, that stayed with me for a while now. And she said, um, Mom, I did my best in that moment. Um, I can't even imagine the profoundness of what she said, but it kind of stumped me, and about how a lot of times we are comparing ourselves to our previous selves in a different time, in a different situation, in a different context. And we a lot of times come short, and we tell ourselves, oh, I wasn't good enough, or I didn't do well enough, or I didn't work hard enough, or I could have done something different. In those moments, I'd like you to develop this habit of being kind to yourself if you can. Remind yourself that you are being your best self in every moment. And this applies to your relationships as well. We are all going through ups, we are all going through downs, we are all trying to make the best of our current situation. So just remind yourself of that if you can. So you are being your best self in every moment. It may not be the same, and there are times I judge myself for not being as responsive, not being as aggressive, not being as um, you know, I guess creative in those moments. But then that is my best in that moment, and I cannot be the same in every moment. So be kind to yourself. Develop this habit of being kind to yourself, not just to others, but for yourself as well. So those of you and those of us who were able to get through that lack of control and helplessness, um, then experience this sense of acceptance. It is what it is, and I am doing what I need to do, and moving forward with this. Um, I'd like to share with you here why it is important to get to that stage of acceptance. And acceptance to me is not compromise. Acceptance to me is um, I am exactly where I'm meant to be, and I'm comfortable with it. I'm not compromising, I'm not unhappy, I'm not miserable. And again, remember, whatever you resist, resistance is what will create the misery. Until we fight that acceptance, we are miserable. But the moment we accept, the misery goes. And this acceptance is important because it allows us to then appreciate what is it that you have that is still creating so much value for you in your life. And this is what brings me to this very valuable part of our life is gratitude. Um, we only experience gratitude when we are um, in a moment, firstly, and we experience gratitude when we are absolutely content in that moment. So um, we could still be practicing gratitude as a habit, but for gratitude really to become so much more exponentially powerful, I would love for each one of you to uh, just let go of that resistance and be in this moment and say, I'm exactly where I am right now, and I don't need to be anywhere else. And in that moment, think about what is it that's bringing you joy? What is it that's making you happy? And here is something that I'd like to also share with you. We all tend to give gratitude in two different ways. So the first way that we give gratitude is we say, I received exactly what I worked so hard for, and finally I've got what I deserve. Thank you. So that's one way of saying gratitude, and that's gratitude with complete deserving. I deserve this and I got it. But there is another way of giving gratitude where um, I don't think I deserve this, yet I have received this. Wow, gratitude for that. Thank you. The second part um, is comes with a little bit of surprise and comes with a little bit of non-deserving. When we are giving gratitude in our life and being grateful in our life with non-deserving, a lot of times we are actually pushing it away. So those of you who either keep a gratitude journal or just have a habit of doing that, I think it's a great habit, by the way. The more you give gratitude for, the more you will attract to give gratitude for. So I think it's a very, very positive habit that you can build over time. um, but if you are giving gratitude, I'd like you to ask yourself, are you giving it with deserving or are you doing it with non-deserving? Because if you're doing it with non-deserving, I'd love for you to know that if you've received something in life, then you were meant to receive it. There are no flukes, there are no chances. Um, we all receive exactly what we are meant to receive. So um, trust the fact that if you receive something, you deserved it. And next time when you give gratitude, I'd love for you to do it with a little more deserving if that's not what you were doing. So, uh, so many questions. I'm going to ask you one more. What are you most grateful for in this moment? Share with me. So sometimes giving gratitude for things that we are grateful for bring us back to this moment and also help us create acceptance in ourselves. So for that, let's do this. This is awesome. So let's waiting for the last few to giving your. And again, even if you've not felt that acceptance, I'd love for you to think in this moment, what are you grateful for? And I'm sure you'll find that one thing that you're really grateful for. Awesome. So our topmost result is family. We're all grateful for family in these moments. I'm truly grateful, and I think about a lot of us who don't have our family with us, and that's probably the toughest situation to be in. So I'm grateful for my family. Um, Friends, absolutely. I don't call people anymore. I just FaceTime them because I want to see their faces, and I'm so grateful for all the friends who take the time or trouble to check on me and call me. And um, we are, a lot of you are grateful for your health, absolutely. Health is very, very precious in this time, and every day that I'm healthy and I can stay healthy, I'm grateful for. Career, a lot of people are going through a lot of hardships. So any kind of, the fact that we are all employed and um, busy and financially stable, we're all grateful for. Children, uh, such a joy right now. I'm glad I have two entertainers in the family who keep me busy and keep me active and don't ever let me get bored. And freedom. I think this time inside has also made us value our freedom so much more. And freedom in the true sense of not having so many boundaries, not being able to go near our friends or touch them and be close to them. So yeah, I think we have come to value some of these even more. So just add to that list every day if you can. So um, I know a lot of people maintain gratitude journals, but if you don't, just when you wake up in the morning, um, start your day by asking, what are you grateful for today? And if you can, every day, add to your list. And before you go to bed at night, if you can, just remind yourself of one thing that you're grateful for that happened today. And it could just be the fact that you had a great walk outside, or it could be the fact that you got a call from a friend, or whatever it is. Just give gratitude as much as possible. Great habit. It'll attract more and more positivity in your life. But do it with deserving. So keep that in mind. You're doing it with deserving. I deserve the friends who are calling me. I deserve the family who loves me. I deserve the financial success, and I deserve to be employed because I'm great at what I do. So remind yourself of all of those great things to be grateful for. Um, which brings me to, I guess, growth or lack of growth that we sometimes feel being stationary. So those of us who are growing are probably channeling our energy towards doing new things, learning new things, learning new skills. And this is something I say, you can't control the outcome, but what you can control is your actions. So if you can control your action, if you can spend this time instead of delving into the future and worrying about the future, instead learning, you will experience that growth. But if you still feel as if just being stationary is making you fall behind and it's keeping you behind and it's preventing your growth, then I'd like to remind you that even if you're sitting down with your eyes closed and reading, you're still growing in something. A lot of times that growth is very internal. So I want you to remind yourself of that, that growth is still happening. And sometimes it'll take a while for it to show up externally, but it's still happening. And I need you to trust that it's happening. Um, and then finally, renewal. So there are a lot of ways of amplifying that energy of renewal and channeling that energy of renewal. But there are a couple that I know, actually, there are quite a few I know, and I've been um, th- this has been a creative phase for me where every day I find new methods of creating that renewal. But I want to share one such method with you guys today. Um, this is basically a meditation that I find to be the most powerful. I know a lot of us might not have meditated. So if you're one of those, don't worry about it. You will still breeze through this one. It's really easy. But this is one starting meditation that I like people to start with because it helps clear your chakras, and it puts you in the right frame to move forward with a lot of positive energy. Those of you who are wondering what chakras are basically these energy funnels that we have in our body that literally suck energy from everything around us and help maintain that balance in our body. While there are a lot of chakras all over our body, the seven main chakras that we have are crown chakra, uh, third eye chakra, throat chakra. Our heart chakra is right in the center of our chest, to the right hand side of our heart. Um, then sacral chakra and solar plexus chakra, about 4 inches below our heart chakra, each of those. And then right where our tailbone is our root chakra. Why is it important to clear our chakras? So some of us might be experiencing headaches, for example. A lot of times I find if you clear the crown chakra and the third eye chakra, those headaches disappear. Throat pain, similarly, your throat chakra sometimes is blocked and throat pain can come from that, but it also actually allows you to be more expressive and openly and to be able to share your, not just work related, but your emotions. So it gives you expression. Your heart chakra is kind of a window into your soul, so it allows you to feel one with yourself. And sometimes you can feel stuck, you can feel lost. So if your heart chakra is open, you'll feel more aligned, and you'll experience fewer conflicts within and outside. Your solar plexus and your sacral chakras are basically chakras where we store a lot of our anxieties and fears and blocks. So really, releasing those will actually literally help you relax and let go of all the burdens that you think you might be carrying. And then root chakra helps us connect with the earth and kind of releases all pent up energy in our body and makes us feel much lighter. I call it earthing, literally for the human body. So join me if you can for the next 15 minutes. Not a very long meditation, very quick meditation, but I can assure you, you come back out of this meditation feeling great. So we'll be really, really quick about it. And so make sure you're seated comfortably. Those of you who I saw on the video were, but if you're not, just find a comfortable spot where you can be seated for a few 10 to 12 minutes. Place your palms on the lap facing down and gently close your eyes. Let's take a deep breath in and exhale. Let's take another deep breath in and hold this time and exhale. One more deep breath in and hold a little longer this time. Exhale. Just relax now. If there are thoughts in your mind in this moment, just acknowledge them, observe them, and let them pass. Don't fight them. Just keep your attention on your breath. And as I like to say, make your breath your anchor. In your mind's eye, I'd like you to bring your attention to your crown chakra, which is right on top of your head. See a white light entering your crown chakra. This is the brightest white light you have ever seen. As it enters the crown chakra, the white light energizes the violet color of this chakra and spins it into harmony. See this white light move further down to fill up your entire head, your eyes, every cell of your body that this white light touches. It heals it. Allow the white light to now enter your third eye chakra, which is right in the center of your brows. As the light enters this chakra, the indigo color of this chakra brightens up and it starts spinning into perfect harmony. Our third eye chakra is what gives us vision and foresight. See the white light now enter your neck region and enter your throat chakra, which is where your apple is. See the light enter your throat chakra and spin it into perfect harmony. And see the light blue color of this chakra become brighter. Even if you're unable to visualize the white light, trust that the thought itself is helping you clear your chakras. Allow the white light to now enter your shoulders, your arms, all the way to your fingertips, relaxing each and every muscle that it touches and healing it. Moving through your spine, Let the white light move further down into your heart chakra, which is right in the center of your chest to the right hand side of your heart. Your heart chakra is the window into your soul. See the white light brighten up the green color of this chakra and spin it into perfect harmony. Allow this healing white light now to enter your entire chest, lungs, energizing each and every cell that it touches. Allow this light to fill your entire upper back, and as it moves down through the spine, let it enter your solar plexus chakra, which is about 4 inches below your heart chakra. Visualize the yellow color of this chakra become brighter and more vibrant. Let the white light now fill up your entire upper abdomen, moving further down the spine, and let it enter your solar plexus chakra. This chakra, your sacral chakra, is where your navel is, and as the light enters this chakra, it becomes more brighter, orange, and let it release all the fear and anxieties and blocks that you might be holding on to. Just take a few extra breaths here and let the light open up this chakra completely. Moving further down the spine, let the light now move into your root chakra. This is where your tailbone is. The root chakra establishes your connection with the earth. See the red color of this chakra become brighter, more vibrant. As the white light fills your root chakra along with your hip region, let the light move down further into your legs, healing each and every muscle that it is touching, reaching your knees, your calf muscles, all the way to your feet. Let this light pass through your feet into the ground, expressing your gratitude to Mother Earth for supporting you and providing with you with all that you need. Thank you. See the energy of Earth, the loving energy of Earth, come back through your feet, into your legs, all the way to your root chakra, moving through your spine, all the way into your heart chakra. Your heart chakra is now filled with the divine white light and the earth's loving energy. This energy is love. You are filled with love. This energy is joy. Experience the joy. Let this healing energy now flow out of your heart chakra to surround your entire body, forming a protective bubble around you. Your entire body is now filled with the healing white light and is divinely protected. Gently bring your palms together as you rub them and place them on your eyes. You may open your eyes whenever you're ready. Thank you so much for joining me for this meditation. I hope you found it energizing and relaxing. Um, I think meditation or practicing mindfulness is a great way to building that muscle of being in this moment. And if you can build one habit, I would encourage you to do that. And sometimes all you need to do is just bring your attention back to your breath. Um, you really don't need a meditation. You don't need me to guide you through it. But all you need is just bring your attention back to the breath. It's not about fighting the thoughts. It's not about um, controlling your mind. But it's all about just being and keeping your attention and awareness here now. So, as a quick recap of some of the things we spoke about today, um, stay away from resistance as much as you can. Life is meant to be effortless, and let it be effortless as much as possible. Because whatever you resist is going to persist. So there's no use, anyways. Um, Remember, you are the best version of yourself in every moment, and remind yourself if you forget. Think of my daughter if you can. That's always a very pleasant reminder to think of a child that you are the best version of yourself in every moment. Remember, fear is your non-acceptance of the future outcome. You can't control future outcomes, but you can control your actions. So, if learning new skills gives you that sense of control, if learning new hobbies, practicing new hobbies gives you that sense of control, then do that. Let go of that control of the outcome and trust the universe to bring you exactly what you need, what's best for you. And as much as possible, if you can, make a habit out of investing in your emotional well-being. So before I take final questions and say goodbye to all of you, I'm going to give you a quick poll again. How often do you spend time on your emotional well-being? Some of us are very regular about it, some of us are not. So share with me, just quickly share with me very honestly, how often do you do that? And it's very easy to do it, honestly. It's not very effortful. You don't need equipment, you don't need a treadmill or weights or anything. All you need is your breath and yourself. So you don't even need speakers for that. Share your thoughts with me. How often do you spend your time on emotional well-being? All right, we have the results here. Most of you don't spend too much time on emotional well-being. Sometimes some of you do, and very few of you do it regularly, or one person does it fairly regularly, and that wasn't me. So, um, if there's one thing that you take back from today, I'd encourage you to spend more time with yourself. Right now, we don't really have a choice, right? So you have so much, you have the luxury of time. Um, Remember, the two things you need, yourself and your breath, and keep your awareness in, that's all. So it's almost like you need to service your car every few months to keep it running well. You need to do the same for yourself as well. Just the way you need to do it for your body, you need to do it for your soul as well. So take care of your emotional well-being. Be kind to yourself in the next few weeks, months. I don't know how long this will take, but for whatever time, be kind to yourself and develop some of those good habits to have a healthy emotional um, life, I guess. I'm happy to take any questions that you might have in this at this time. So over to you, Natalie. Open this up. If you have questions.
If you have questions, you can either unmute yourself or put it in the chat. It's up to you.
All right. So my email is here. If anybody has things that you want to talk about, because a lot of times after these webinars, I get individual emails from people. I'm happy to respond to you as well. So stay healthy, stay happy as much as possible, and spend some time with yourself. Do things that are good for you. Develop some of those healthy habits if you can. And we'll share the recording as well with you guys. So I'll have the recording out to Natalie and she can share the link with everyone. So feel free to share it with your friends. I maintain a YouTube channel as well, so feel free to subscribe to that. I will be adding additional content going forward and regular meditations there. So if you'd like to join that, feel free to do that as well. Thank you so much for your time. Thanks, Natalie.
Thank you. So for the raffle, we did a little random generator and Natasha won the gift card.
Yay!
Hey, Natasha.
Yay!
We'll be sending over the information about that later today. So thank you guys for joining us and I hope you all have a great weekend and thank you, Sheetal.
Thank you. Nice to see you guys. And Travis, Natasha, the ones that I can see. Bye-bye. Have a great evening.
Bye.
Bye.